Good evening, Tiger sports fans, and welcome back to episode 8 of this week's Tiger Sports Nation. I'm Jack Crain.
And I'm Joey Webster. Let's get started.
After receiving their 10th win of the season on Saturday after beating Allegheny 3-2, the women's soccer team remains at the top of the NCAC. Despite being down in the first half for the first time in 4 games, DePauw continued to control the pace of the game, outshooting the Gators 8-2 in the second half, sending them into overtime.
And overtime was all DePauw. In the 99th minute of play, off a soaring cross by Jillian Snow, Alex Berkeley took on the last defender and headed the ball for the winning goal. The Tigers have just one more game of the regular season, which will be this Saturday versus Kenyon College.
Also facing Allegheny over the weekend was the men's soccer team, defeating the Gators 1-0. Though the Tigers were tied at 0 all at the half, DePauw finally found the back of the net just 2 minutes into the second off of an unassisted goal by Gustavo Casmanas. With just one more NCAC matchup of the season, the Tigers will face Wabash this week.
The volleyball team had their final home game of the season last Tuesday, hosting Wittenberg. The Tigers put up a fight, but unfortunately lost to Witt in 3 sets. Despite the loss, however, the Tigers can still feel good about the evening. Here's Lexie Manor with the story.
Thank you, guys. I'm here at Neal Fieldhouse where I'm about to get a word with sophomore outside hitter Abby Downs, who has just arrived to warm up for tonight's matchup versus NCAC rival Wittenberg. While the Tigers have been preparing all season long to face Wittenberg after last season's loss in the NCAA tournament, tonight's game is about much more than just volleyball. It's the annual Attack Cancer Game. And while all of the team's members have been personally affected by the deadly disease of cancer, for Abby Downs, it hits a little closer to home. Here's why. Abby, could you tell us who you're playing for tonight?
Yes, I'm playing for my dad, Vincent Downs, all my grandparents, Rose Lucas, Jack Downs, and then Ray Downs.
So as someone who has been so personally affected by cancer, what do nights like tonight mean to you?
They just mean like raising awareness and showing them up in heaven that I still care about them and I want to spread like everything that I know about it.
Mm-hmm. So going off of that, how is your mindset different in tonight's game versus an ordinary game?
I'll probably get a little emotional, but besides that, my mindset for like the actual match doesn't change. I just want everybody to be more aware, like for like all aspects of cancer.
Mm-hmm. And considering you are a sophomore, therefore this is your second time competing in the Attack Cancer Game, can we expect anything different this year? Any new aspects to this event?
Well, since it's versus Witt, this is like our biggest rival in the conference. This year we have a really good chance of beating them. So it's going to be an exciting game because they lost a few of their players and graduated a few. So it's looking good for us tonight.
Awesome. Well, good luck. Thank you, Abby. We'll catch you up on some updates on how the game went after it happens.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Lexie, for that touching story. The Tigers then participated in a tri-tournament later in the week, losing to Ohio Wesleyan and Case Western. They will travel to St. Louis next Saturday to face Milliken in center for their final 2 games of the regular season.
It was senior day for the field hockey team on Saturday as they faced Denison. While they lost 2-1 to the Big Red, the match did showcase DePauw's willingness to put everything on the line no matter how many seconds are left in the match. The Tigers' final regular season home game is Tuesday at 7.
On a rainy, windy afternoon at Blackstock Stadium, DePauw scored a touchdown and a safety during a 1:30 stretch of the second quarter. The Tigers held on for an 8-6 NCAC win over Allegheny. The Tigers moved to 4-3 overall and 4-2 in the NCAC. Liam Pooler rushed for a career-high 87 yards on 17 carries, while Jared Stiver added 65 on 14 tries. Colin Connect-Foe passed for 59 yards, with 3 going to Ethan Hudson for 26 yards, and Pooler hauling in 2 for 27. Charlie Gruner led the Tigers with 9 tackles, while Anthony Sansone had 1.5 sacks. DePauw heads on the road for their final time this season when it travels to Denison this coming Saturday.
Good luck to the football team. As our fall sports teams' seasons are beginning to come to a close, our winter sports teams are just getting started. Just last week, freshman swimmer Emily Thompson won NCAC Swimmer of the Week for her performance at the Indiana Intercollegiates. Michael Ocasek is in the studio with the young star now to talk about the season ahead.
Michael Ocasek here with freshman swimmer Emily Thompson. Emily, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you were actually named the NCAC Swimmer of the Week last week. How was the reception across the team when they heard the news?
They were all super supportive and really happy for me.
Yeah. I can imagine. And so you actually beat out multiple D1 runners for your 5th place 500 free.
Yeah.
And what kind of came to your D3 decision instead of more a D1 program? What made you choose DePauw?
I wanted to have a life outside of swimming. Swimming has been my life for like 15 years, and I love the sport, but I know that college is about branching out and having these experiences that you haven't had before, and so I really wanted to live life to the fullest, I guess. So that's why I chose Division III.
Yeah, and it's great to get that experience, and I feel like even the team is then closer when they're happier and they're able to do more things as well. And so you had to have done a lot of work over the off season to come in as a freshman and perform how you have so far. What kind of things did you do to get into shape and to be ready for the season?
So I trained at a very high level all summer. My club team back home is super competitive, and so I swam with them all summer. I competed all summer. So I only took like 2 weeks off, and it was when I was moving in and just getting adjusted to school.
Yeah. Wow, that seems pretty rigid program, but obviously it's paid off. What are some goals now that you've kind of had a few meets under your belt? Some goals you have for the season, and as a team as well as individual.
I just want to have fun, and obviously I want to swim well, but that comes with having fun. If I'm not having fun, then I'm not going to be motivated to swim well.
Of course.
So I just want to have fun.
Yeah, and conference. What do you think you're going to swim?
I don't know. Shay and I are going to talk about it. Probably the 500 free, the 400 IM, the 200 butterfly, and then she said she's going to throw me on some relays.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Michael, and congratulations to Emily.
In other swimming news, the Tigers opened the dual meet portion of its schedule with a 162-106 loss at 10th ranked WashU. Catherine Douglas won the 1-meter diving, while Emily Thompson was the top finisher in the 500-yard freestyle, and Rachel Graves second. Ali Talon posted the second fastest time in the 100 fly. DePauw travels to Elkhart, Indiana next Saturday, where they will face Bethel and Indiana Wesleyan.
Also competing in their first dual meet of the season was the men's swimming and diving team, as they fell to 5th-ranked WashU 155-94. Charlie Stewart Bates was second in the 1650-yard freestyle, and Seth Fagan was third in the 100 backstroke. In the 500 free, Matthew Netherton took first, Max Steffi was second, and Will Surf took third. Ian Longan was first in the 100-yard fly, and also placed first in the 400 free relay with Joel Orloff, Surf, and Jake French. DePauw hosts Swabash this Friday at 7 p.m.
Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Tiger Sports Nation. Thank you again for tuning in, and once again, I'm Jack Crain.
And I'm Joey Webster. Make sure to catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just look up DePauw Channel to watch all your favorite D3 TV content.
Roll
TIGS.
Sweet. Good job.